Today we're going to be installing quite possibly one of the most important things you could put on your Tacoma. Welcome to Snail Trail 4x4, I'm Jimmy Jett. If you like building Toyotas and going off-roading, then this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button down below. Today we're going to be installing skid plate from Victory 4x4. We're going to be installing the skid plate that's going to cover the transfer case today. And it's a huge, massive skid plate, and I'm super excited to be installing this thing. I think I weighed it, and it was around 46 pounds. So do take that into account. It is a little bit heavy, but it is thick, and it's going to give a lot of protection to your vehicle. And protection is the #1 thing that I'm concerned with this brand new Tacoma that I have. So I'm going to get some good skid plates underneath it and some rock sliders on it soon, and then probably some good bumpers in the future. So make sure that you're paying attention to the channel. So let's go check out the skid plate we got. So here's the skid plate we got. This is actually going to be on the front of the vehicle, and this is going to be in the rear. They do provide you with this drop section here, which I've already installed for the stock 4Runner or Tacoma exhaust. I've been working with too many 4Runners because the exhaust actually drops down and connects to one side, so you have a single exhaust. If you have the custom exhaust, you could use this flat plate. But since I have stock exhaust, I'm going to be using this drop plate. The kit comes with 6 of these button heads. These are 732s and 6 of the 14 millimeter flange nuts that you're going to put on. I've already put 5 of those on, so this one's going to be going here. And then it also comes with these 2 big, large half-inch bolts that are both 19 millimeters on each end, the nut and the bolt head. And those are going to go up here on the far sides, and those are going to go up into the frame. So our next step is we got to disconnect these 4 nuts off of a cross member, and then once that's apart, we can put this up into place. So the next step though is to remove these 2 nuts on this side, and there's 2 more on the other side in the exact same place. They are 14 millimeters and it's a bolt, so you got the 14 millimeter on this far side and then the nuts on this side, so we'll just undo those now. We're just going to use this floor jack to balance it, and then we're going to use it to lift it up into place as well. So what we need to do is there's 2 holes in the front need to go up and go onto those 4 bolts that we just took apart. I got the balance of the skid. If you want to, we're going to have to go back with the whole skid, aren't we?
Yeah. So let's just
lift it. There you go. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, let's go up. You have better eyes on this than I do. Okay. I'm pretty close though. Okay, I'm on my 2.
And I'm on my 2.
All right. Can you grab one of the bolts that are on your right, the nuts on your right side, and we will put one of the nuts on the bolts just to make sure it doesn't slide off. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to lift this end and put that all the way out there. All right, go on up all the way. All right, cool. Okay, so the next step is I'm gonna tighten these bolts up so that we're pulling this whole entire skid plate against this cross member as tight as possible. And we want to pull it there because then we're going to have to drill some holes, half-inch holes here, once we're done bolting this up. You're going to torque this down to tight. I don't know if there's an actual torque spec. Well, there's got to be an actual torque spec because of the bolt, but it's holding your cross member in place, so just get it really tight. That's pretty good. Go to the inside one. All right, now that we got the 4 bolts and nuts that are 14 millimeters tightened on that end, we have to drill a half-inch hole here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be stepping this up. I'm going to start with some smaller bits and go larger and larger and larger. You're just going to drill that through the frame. Just be careful here on the driver's side because there is the computer module right up above it. And to undo that, there are 2 12 millimeter nuts on the outside, and then those bolts, or they're just bolts through the frame, so you can just pull that computer module out of the way. This bolt hole is going to be, or could be, reused if you get the Victory 4x4 rock sliders. That hole is going to be used for both the skid plate and their rock sliders. So maybe I'll be getting those in the future, hopefully. But yeah, so don't worry about drilling a hole in your frame right there, because it'll be used multiple times. So I started with a small bit, working my way up to larger and larger bits. I did move to an impact drill after this first pass, and that helped out a lot whenever I had a bit that would fit that size. After removing the computer module, it did allow me to be able to push all the way through and not worry about hitting it, so that's a good thing to do. All right, last one, 1/2 inch. Let's see how it goes. Whew. Got some metal in the glove. All right, 1/2 inch done. Now we got to do that same thing on the other side. There's no electrical on that side. You can just drill straight through. All right, now that we got the hole drilled, this is a flange nut, so it'll tighten itself once it gets tight up on the top. We still have the computer module out of the way up there, so I'm just going to hold that up there, put the nut on it, tighten it up. There we go. Now with the 19 millimeter, I'm just going to tighten that up. It's already holding itself on the top. Now we'll just tighten it here. There we go. Cool, now we'll tighten the other side, and then this will be buttoned up. Forgot we gotta put the computer module back in place. We'll put those through the holes. Get the nuts, 12 millimeter nuts, and put those back in place and tighten those up. To do this install, you don't need to lift your vehicle. I did it because I wanted to get better filming angles for you guys. This could totally be done on the ground. It was really nice to have a help with a friend to give me a hand getting that up into place, working the jack while I was underneath. It would be just extremely difficult to kind of do it by yourself. That piece is roughly 45 pounds, so it just would be a lot to lift it up into place and try to screw things in and hold it all at the same time. I just want to put a note out there again to just be careful of that computer module when you're doing that drilling through. Pull that thing out of the way. You don't want to mess that up. You could probably be pretty careful if you're handy with the drill, but it's just as easy to pull it out of that way. So there it was, just a super simple install from, on that skid plate. Thanks to our Victory 4x4 for supplying that. In a future episode, I'm going to be doing the gas tank skid plate, which is another beefy skid plate, and I'm going to do a weight comparison there. I'm going to pull off the flimsy one that's stock, and I'm going to weigh the one that's provided, and we'll see what the difference of weight is. But like I said at the beginning, I'm excited to have actually bigger and beefier skid plates under here and protect the important parts of this truck. So if you like these installs, hammer down on that subscribe button, and don't forget, keep crawling.